Hey, everybody, welcome to part one of the conspiracy theory live stream. And I know what you're thinking. Part one? Well, in preparing for this live stream, unfortunately, there's so much information to give you guys that yeah, it's like 5 pages of notes that I have for just Princess Diana herself, and there was at least 7 pages with the 9/11 documents, so there was no physical way that I could fit both of those within a 15-minute topic as well as other topics. So it's kind of changed tonight. Tonight, we're just doing part one. We're going to discuss Diana, other conspiracies, and take your comments and kind of discuss those kinds of things. But there's going to be a part two. There is a link already set up in the description and in my live streams, or I guess in my events. So come be a part of part two, where I will finish with my stuff. I'm going to finish wrapping up with compelling evidence about 9/11 and obviously discuss a patron's conspiracy theory that they would want me to discuss. And then, of course, I do want you to know, guys, that I did plan to discuss conspiracy theory topics every 15 minutes, but it's just not going to happen with all of the information that I obtained. It's so long and vast because I'm a person who has to have details and facts and research and proof and quotes that unfortunately it just thinking that each conspiracy segment would be 15 minutes long was a idealistic idea, but was not going to work out. So I tried like hell to make as many cuts as possible, but when it involves a conspiracy theory, it's just so hard to do. So again, May 31st is part two of this live stream. And then open another tab right now and go to my Twitter. My account is at MaryGirl Moody, and vote your opinion on these conspiracy theories and others. And anticipation of the end of the month May conspiracy stream, I'm going to post more polls and have them go for the entire month, and then post those results as well with the May stream. I did some polls on my Twitter account, so I'm not going to read those until the end of the stream. So you have about a good 45 minutes to open a new tab and go vote on the Twitter of the questions I posted. And there's only about 5 or 6, so it won't take you very long at all. And again, guys, May 31st is part two. So the link is already there, set up. It's in the description, so you're good to go. Okay, guys, so before we start, let me take a couple of comments, because what we're going to do is I'm going to start with the Princess Diana conspiracy theory. That's the first and only big topic for tonight. I'm going to discuss others, obviously, but this is going to be the very big one. I don't know why it came first. I could have done 9/11 first, but I just chose not to. So I have no idea. So let's take a moment to give a shout out to everybody. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much to BRT and Tammy Pickles Sifford. Thank you guys for moderating the comments. And I just also want to say shout out to Maisie, Reese, Danny, Casey, Jonas. If I'm forgetting anybody, I feel terrible. But all my admins, everybody who helps make the channel and the groups better. Brian Cunningham, it's so great to be here. He says he hasn't been to a stream in a while, so it's happy to be here. It's nice to have you, Jam Rio. And SS Retro Zone. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Princess Diana. Let's see. Tammy says, I'll say it right now that Diana was totally murdered, hands down. Dav 3704, long time no see. So great to have you too. I hope that you were enjoying Murder by Alpha. I understand if you haven't had a chance to read all of it, but if you have, I do hope that you have been enjoying it. It's so great to have you here. Okay, so let's start with the Princess Diana conspiracy theory, which I found out it is not a theory. There is proof. SS Retrozone says, please do the Stacey Peterson disappearance. SS Retrozone, what would be like a conspiracy with her? What is there something that I missed? I haven't heard a conspiracy about that. Is there something that I'm missing on it? I'll come back. So guys, just give me a moment here. Let me go on ahead and present to you my Princess Diana information. And my husband is so sweet. He's letting the cat out. And let me go on ahead and screen share with you my presentation. I tell people you do that to me, Blake, when I'm live streaming. And one day I'm going to turn the camera and show people what you're doing to me when I'm live streaming. Screen one and share. Okay, cool. So, oh, no, I don't. No. Nope. Wait, hold on. Nope. Why is it taking both screens? I'm so sorry, guys. Hang on. Technical difficulties. When I go to cover it full screen, it it covers both, so I can't see what I've written on the other side. Well, that just does not do. Hang on one second. This is going to be ridiculous. There's no way that I'll be able to read a black screen. Oh, when I do this, makes that one go black. So, yeah. All right, so let's just do it just this way, guys. I am so sorry. Let's just continue. Screw it. Princess Diana of Wales. Okay, so she's our first and only topic. So Diana Francois Spencer was born July 1st, 1961 in England, July 29th, 1981. She married Prince Charles, who was the Prince of Wales, and she's the son to Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom. And I'm so sorry. This should look better, and it looks awful. I am so sorry. I should have done a freaking test before. Oh my God, this is awful. Here, let me just stop showing the screen because this is redundant now. Okay, here we are. I'm so sorry, guys. That was just so crazy. Okay, I am so sorry. I had everything hooked up with two screens so I can show a presentation on a screen share with you and then read it off of another screen. And for some reason, it's all being screwed up. So I'm just going to read my actual script over here. So I apologize if if I'm not like looking at you guys. So okay, the Queen Elizabeth II is the Queen of the United Kingdom and like the Commonwealth regions. So people knew her as the People's Princess. Diana dedicated her life to helping children and those affected with HIV, AIDS, cancer, and mental illness. And I didn't know this, but doing the research on her in this live stream, she had bulimia and depression. So she was very public about it. And I thought that that was very brave of her. Absolutely. Now, she had two children, Prince William and Harry. Diana finally divorced Prince Charles for failure to, keep it in his pants. So she was set free August 28th, 1996. And she basically became trouble for the royal family ever since she married Charles to the day she died. She continued to stay in the press, to date people, and to use her influence to end the use of things such as like landmines and hunger and to tackle big problems such as things that are happening to children. It's just very sad. And she was very devoted to it. And on August 31st, 1997, which I know exactly where I was when this news broke, Diana was killed in a car crash along with her boyfriend, Dadi Faid, and her driver, Henri Paul. Her bodyguard, Trevor Rees-Jones, was the only person who survived and was ironically the only person wearing a seatbelt. Now, an inquiry into their deaths it started in like 2004, I think, but it concluded in 2008. And the jury ruled Diana's death as unlawful killing. And I was going to show you guys, I do apologize, I was going to show you an actual definition clip of unlawful killing, but the term is under English law, and it means that when someone is killed by one or several unknown persons. Ultimately, they discovered that a white Fiat and motorcycles were found guilty of causing the crash, and we will get to that in a moment. Maybe I can actually just switch. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can just switch my screen share stuff. Maybe that will actually do it. I apologize. This is so crazy to work with my mouse because I have a mouse now attached to my computer that can go into the other screen. So let me see if the screen share will work again. Screen to share. All right. Okay. So, okay. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so there was Diane and her children, and here is the actual, here's the actual car crash. Okay, so there was a white Fiat and several motorcycles that were found guilty of murdering Diana. This sadly is her vehicle, and Mohammed Fayed, who was Dottie's father, he went public and said that the car crash was planned and executed by M16 and the Duke of Edinburgh, who is Prince Philip. He has since ceased his claims in order to spare Diana and her children, which you can see how, I mean, look how big they've gotten. I mean, look at those sweet boys. Look at those sweet little, well, they're big boys now, but I remember them as little babies. And look how big they are. They're grown men now. And, you know, William is making a family of his own, and Harry's about to get married and start that kind of a life. And so the father just decided that, you know, since the 2008 inquiry said that it was a unlawful killing, that he would go on ahead and actually stop his inquiry to spare her children, you know, out of respect for her boys that are still living. And I thought that that was really respectful. Guys, I do apologize. Nobody in my family right now should be streaming or doing anything. So if there is a lag or if it's kind of smudgy, I sincerely apologize. Let me see if it will even, nope, it goes black for me in the other screen too. So I apologize. I need to leave it for you right there. Again, Dottie's father claimed that M16, I guess, which is like the Secret Service for the British royalty, they, along with Prince Philip, planned and executed Diana's murder. This is what a white Fiat Uno looks like. And again, we're going to get to that in just a moment, but I wanted to let you guys know what that looks like. Take a look at this while I'm also discussing it. We can dive a little bit into Mr. Fayed's claim, because aside from him, Dottie's father, he said that Diana confessed to him that Prince Philip and Prince Charles both were planning to kill her. Since he said that, others have come forward to corroborate that statement. Her divorce lawyer, Lord Mission, he told police about it, and he said that specifically Diana told him that she would be killed in a car crash and it would be staged by the British establishment. And the police, who were the chiefs at that time, buried it. Now, the chiefs hid the information, okay? Their name was Lord Condon and Lord Stevens. They broke the law, but were later made lords by the Queen. They were rewarded for breaking her law, okay? And I have to show you guys this too, that even Diana herself wrote notes to her friends that she was going to be killed in a car crash, that Prince Charles specifically was planning to kill her in a car crash. I should have just pulled this up on like actual photos from a a file folder. That would have made it so much easier. Let me go and go with that one real quick, because it says right here, Camilla is nothing but a decoy. Let me hit pause. So, and then there's more of the note under there, but it says right here, if you start, it says, my husband is, I think that's planning, because her L is a little weird right there. Planning an accident, see how it's in parentheses, in my car. Brake failure, or I am so sorry. Something in order to make the path clear for him to marry Tiggy, because I think that was Camilla. And then she says Camilla is nothing but a decoy. So this is actually Diana's own handwriting. This is what she wrote to a friend of hers, and there's her signature down here. And again, it matches. Excuse me, this is from the exact same note. This is just from another piece of it. This is October. I'm dying for someone to find me, encourage me to stay strong with my head high. This particular shame in my life is one of the most dangerous. This particular phase in my life is one of the most dangerous. My husband is planning an accident. So yeah, she even wrote it in her own words. And I put this up because I wanted you guys, excuse me, to see another piece of her handwriting and her signature. And I apologize, still Texas allergies are getting to me. And this is still another piece of her letter that I just showed you before, where it says, my husband is planning an accident in my car, brake failure, or a serious head injury in order to make the path clear for him to marry Tiggy. Which again, I just assumed that that's Camilla. Obviously, I could be wrong. But those were in her own words. Okay, I just thought that that was very interesting, and I had to show that to you guys because it does add credibility to Mr. Fayed, Dottie's father, because he's going to make more claims in this video that I'm going to tell you about. And I think it's just very important to show that he seems to be a very truthful man, and that, you know, obviously Diana did tell him certain things because she did spend time with him, obviously because she loved his son. So we do have many people corroborating that Diana felt that Prince Charles and Prince Philip were plotting to kill her. So let's move on into the why. I apologize, guys. This should have looked so much nicer, and I apologize that it's not. By part 2 of this, I will have the kinks figured out. It will look so much nicer for the next time we're here. Okay, like most of us are asking ourselves, guys, why would the fuck would anyone want to murder Princess Diana, beloved by everybody, literally the world? Okay, so I did find out that Diana feared that her phones were tapped and all of her communication was monitored, and that was proven that they were, even by the United States. It was corroborated by M16 and our own U.S. Secret Service. So before she died, though, Diana and Dottie told his father, Mr. Mohammed Al-Fayed, that she was pregnant and the couple were engaged. Now, they planned to announce it in a couple of days after they spoke to him. So the dad confirmed that his son Dottie bought an engagement ring for Diana, and this is the supposed receipt for the actual ring at the jewelers. See how it says Rapasi up here? It's Rapasi Jewelers. The actual owner, Alberto Rapasi himself testified at the inquiry that Dottie and Diana came into his jewelry store August 5th, 1997, and purchased an engagement ring from a certain collection. And this is the receipt from it, and it was an engagement ring. He even went and bought a second ring from Rapasi Jewelers hours before they were murdered on August 31st, 1997. So he bought 2 pieces of jewelry from them. And this one, I believe, is from the August 5th transaction. It's just very difficult to tell because I do not read French. I've been trying to ask a few of my friends who have been to Paris and stuff if maybe they read French, maybe they could help me by understanding it. So, but so far nobody has. But I just wanted to be able to show that to you guys because I thought that was very interesting to have. So, yeah, I don't. There's some things in here that I really wanted to show you guys that I found of proof. So the jeweler himself spoke out and testified of this. Um, and let's see. Let's see. Mr. Fayed accused M16 of knowing that Diana was pregnant and planned to marry Dottie, thus executed her in a bogus car crash before they could announce their engagement. Now, guys, this is the most popular theory as to Diana and a conspiracy theory and being murdered. There is many others out there. There's one that Diana staged her own death to get away from the public spotlight, and the paparazzi murdered her. Or excuse me, that she did this to get away from the spotlight. But that one is just ludicrous. And there's another one that the paparazzi murdered her by chasing her into the tunnel. But that has been disproven even by British Parliament. So there was just no need to address them, and it would have taken up too much time because even now it's already 20 minutes into the stream, and I should have been done with this topic 6 minutes ago. So now let's move on to another section called Could All of This Be True? Guys, could this conspiracy theory be true of the Henri, Diana, and Dottie being murdered by the M16 and Prince Charles and Prince Philip? So let's address a couple of things here. I want to show you guys the pictures of Diana pregnant that they claim. Now, this picture was taken the last day she was alive, August 31st. Now, I apologize if I get it wrong. As far as I know, that's what the date was on the picture. You can see she's got a tiny little pouch right there, okay? You can also, this is another picture of her taken very near the time that she was murdered. There's Dottie, there's Diana. There's really visibly no pooch right there, but she does look a tiny bit like she's healthy. You know, I love a woman who has all of this extra right there on her because it really does prove that she's eating, she's fit and she's healthy and she's not starving herself. You don't want women to do that. Here's another picture of this day. Do you see her tummy is still pretty flat? And it's different than the other picture, which I'll bring up again right there. It's a different color view of it. So I really think that here's another picture of Diana that day. I mean, look, she just looks so fit and healthy. You know, it does not look to me that she's pregnant. It just looks to me like she is like most women in the world who have more than one child. They get a tiny little baby pooch because our womb has expanded so many times. And it just happens. You get a tiny little baby pooch, even if you are the fittest of women. So, I mean, as you can tell, she is trim and fit. I just really think that that day she had had a lot of yummy drinks and food, and that the paparazzi just took a picture of her at the worst time of when, just in the wrong pose and the wrong lighting. So I really honestly don't give too much credit to the pregnancy theory here. But I do want to say that Dottie's father clearly stated that Diana and Dottie told him that she was pregnant. And so I guess on the debate on whether or not the princess was pregnant, you know, that's going to be up to you to decide. In my opinion, though, as I've tried to show you guys before, I find Dottie's father to be a truthful man just trying to find justice for his son. I mean, why would this man speak against the royal family with claims that they murdered his son and Diana, excuse me, risking death for himself? I mean, if Mr. Fayed is lying about the engagement ring and Diana being pregnant, then that's like some fucking dedication to lying. I mean, to risk your own life for a lie is logically ludicrous. So I have to say that she probably was pregnant because, again, Mr. Fayed does have a history of, to me, speaking the truth. I'm sure there are some statements that he's going to make, excuse me, that he might embellish for himself or for the benefit of his case. Obviously, I don't believe everything he says. But the fact that he is stepping out against M16 and the British monarchy to say that Diana was pregnant really shows me something. And the jeweler himself, guys, stepped forward to testify that he was the one who sold Diana and Dottie the ring. And I shit you not, Albert Raposi is the jeweler, and the link to the actual article that he talked to, that's in the description if you want to go check it out. It's under links and it's even marked jeweler article, so you can go check that out. He said the couple came into a store August 5th, 1997 and purchased the engagement ring. And Diana and Dottie specifically told Mr. Raposi that they needed the ring sized for her finger, and they were buying it for as an engagement ring because they were going to announce their engagement at the beginning of September. Now, this was more than enough motivation for the royal family to have killed her, in my opinion. Sadly, I'm sure the elders of the royal family nearly fucking died when they discovered Princess Diana, you know, literally loved by the entire world and may be divorced from Prince Charles, but is still royalty, was going to marry and have a child by a Muslim man who would ultimately be the stepfather to her heirs, William and Henry, of the royal throne. Like and subscribe, guys, if you're enjoying the video. And again, don't forget to check out part 2. And yes, guys, this is John Travolta right here, actually dancing with Princess Diana. I think this was 1991. I forgot to get the year, but that looks like a 1991 professionals, kind of like John Travolta when he first met Kelly Preston, you know. Okay, so let me get back to the full screen so I can get back to my actual script here. Real quickly, guys, let me go on ahead and stop this so I can go and take your comments, because I do want to know what your opinions are, and I do want to voice them out, obviously, during this live stream. And then, of course, guys, shout out, don't forget to go check out my Twitter at MaryGirl Moody. I have some pretty great polls up there of conspiracy theories, excuse me. And I would like you guys to go and vote there, because I'm going to actually give you the results here in about like 30 minutes or something like that. So you have about a good 30 minutes to go and vote out there. And I would really appreciate it if you went and voted, make your voice count. I have one such as like, do you believe that Diana, Princess of Wales, her death was a murder or an accident? Do you think 911 was orchestrated by the government or a terrorist attack? Things like that. And we're also going to talk about Suge Knight killing Eazy-E here in a little bit. So I really need to try to move past Diana. And that's why I apologize. I knew this was going to be such a long stream. So let me take your awesome, delicious comments. If I've missed anything, or excuse me, if I do miss anything, just please put it into the comments currently. Brian Cunningham, do some Mandela effects. Would you do me a favor, Brian, and put that in the comments after this video has posted, because I'll come back and I'll read those comments, and I will actually, some of the live chat go away after a while. But the actual comments after the live stream processes, that doesn't go away. So if you could re-put that back in there, I would appreciate it. Poetic Sparrow, great to have you. SS Retrozone says, I live hours from the town. Her sister is looking for her remains, and allegedly Stacy was seen in another country. SS Retrozone is talking about Stacy Peterson disappearance. Oh, thank you, SS Retrozone. I will absolutely, here, let me type that. Hang on, let me type that very quickly into my laptop. Mandela effect and Stacy Peterson seen in another. Okay, cool. I will do that. Absolutely. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Another suggestion is that Hitler didn't die when we thought he did. Thank you, Brian Cunningham. I did think about that one as well. Princess Diana was like the Queen Marjorie Tyrell in Game of Thrones. SS Retrozone says assassination. BRT says, I remember CNN had live feed of the tunnel before the car had been removed, almost like they knew it was going to happen since live broadcasting cable news is no easy feat. Dav says, Mary, I don't know. If my mother finds out someone killed Diana, she's going to flip her lid. Then get ready to flip her lid because because the inquiry, like I said, they showed that Diana was murdered by the person driving the white Fiat and the motorcycles. This is all public knowledge now. All public knowledge. And again, I'm going to get back into it here in just a moment, right after I take your comments. Yes, Tammy, you were right. Diana was alive after the initial accident for a good while, actually. She even had a couple of strokes and was still alive. So her life would have been saved. And it's actually weird because I'm going to go over and tell you guys what happened and why it wasn't. Brian says it's kind of weird to think of it as an assassination. I agree, but it was. I got home at 1 midnight, put on the TV, saw it on the news, says Daff. I went up to my mom's room to wake her, and they were glued to the TV for hours. Let's see. The Queen was very pretty, much forced to come out and make a statement too, because all the people were so distraught about Diana. It was almost 5 days after the death, I think. Charles is such a douche, says Daff. I agree. And Tammy is right. He was seeing Camilla the whole time, and Diana even knew it. I mean, that's just screwed up. Hater Partaker says, I honestly think they killed her in the ambulance because she was alive when they dragged her out of the car. Exactly. And BRT thinks that that looked like a baby bump. So did Tammy. Or she did say it could be a little pooch. BRT says she might have told people she's pregnant knowing she's in danger and trying to buy some time. Maybe they wouldn't hurt her if she's pregnant. Hey, that's a really good idea. That's a really good one, BRT. What's up, John Canoni? It's great to have you here. Hey, Salem Swamp Witch. Is the Paul is dead theory on the list? Poetic Sparrow? No, but I did see that one. I'll talk about it next one. Here. You put on here. Beatles. I saw one about the Beatles never existed. And Paul is dead. Okay, I'll address that in part 2 of the live stream. You guys are so amazing. Keep these going on here. And if I don't see them, just put them on when I come right back to the camera. Yes, Tammy, you are right. Oh my God, Tammy, you should be on this live stream. Tammy says the driver of the white Fiat was murdered and the Fiat was destroyed, right? She is 100% right. So I'm about to go over that stuff. So Tammy, you are so ahead of me. You are so awesome. No-Tell Hotel, it's so great to have you in the live stream. We're talking about conspiracy theories right now. We're talking about Princess Diana. Let's see. I think I'm at the okay. Let's talk about the Bernstein Bears Mandela effect. LOL, says Anthony. Anthony, I sent you a message about your gift card on Facebook. So just let me know if that's cool. Okay, let's get back into Diana and then I'll go back into your comments. Okay, because I want to finish up with Diana because I have a long, like a 12 list here of other conspiracies that I just wanted to go over and touch base with you guys very quickly. Some are ridiculous and some are not so ridiculous. Okay, so let's go back to, okay, we talked about Diana being pregnant and about Dottie being stepfather to the heirs of the royal throne. And then, of course, even though Diana was divorced from Prince Charles, she was still part somewhat of the royal family, which is kind of weird because they all disowned her, it seemed. Okay, so let's go back to how. All right. Let's go to the how, guys. How the fuck did someone manage to kill Princess Diana? Now, after the car crash, the car was examined and the rear seat belts were found to be defective, meaning Princess Diana nor Dottie could use the seat belts in the back seat to keep them restrained. And I always want to say Henry, but it's Henri. I know I'm saying it wrong, so I just want to be respectful and try to say it right. Henri wasn't wearing one. Only the bodyguard was actually wearing a seatbelt. And remember, that was Trevor. Now, this is them when they're getting in the car, leaving the hotel. And then this is like one of the final pictures taken of them. Now, notice that there's no seatbelt across Trevor right here. This is the bodyguard. This is Henri, Paul. There's Princess Diana. And here is Dottie. You can see a tiny bit of like maybe the flesh of his hand or something like that. Maybe he was like holding his hand up or something. But this is one of the last pictures of them alive. And as you can tell, he does not look drunk. Henri does not look drunk. And there are also, I apologize. There are also photos of Henri. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. I'm sorry. There's also photos of Henri as well before the accident, and he does not look intoxicated at all. So now we know that nobody was restrained in the actual car except for Trevor, who in that video, who in the last picture wasn't even wearing his seatbelt. What happened? I mean, the span of this last photo taken and when the accident happened was in less than 60 seconds. The bodyguard is normally not wearing a seatbelt restraint because he needs to immediately be ready to protect the princess in case something happens. So he shouldn't, I mean, this is correct. He should not be wearing a seatbelt, but yet when the car crashed less than 60 seconds later, he is wearing a seatbelt. Okay, now police determined that the paparazzi were too far behind the Mercedes that was carrying Diana and Dottie before it entered the tunnel. So guys, let's repeat this. The actual British police determined that the paparazzi did not chase the Mercedes that carried Diana and Dottie into the tunnel. It did not chase them. They were just fine. Witnesses said that they saw a white Fiat with various motorcycles. Let me enlarge it. Witnesses said that they saw a white Fiat on this side of the Mercedes, along with certain motorcycles, like on the sides of it, surrounding, like kind of behind it right there. This right here was the actual tunnel, and this was the hotel. Oh, sorry, it flashed. Okay. So it says that these motorcycles, which I apologize, I had a better picture of it. I just don't know exactly where it is right now. But they kind of boxed them in, pushed them into a tunnel. And then witnesses said that there was a tremendously bright flash in the tunnel. And this Fiat Uno collided with the Mercedes and pushed it into, I shit you not, the 13th concrete medium in the tunnel. Now, this was corroborated, guys, when white paint, here, let me get you guys right there. This was corroborated when white paint, as seen right here, was seen right here on the Mercedes. So it is true. That Fiat was definitely there. There is proof right here. There were witnesses inside the tunnel and on the street. Here, where is? See right here where there's the actual route. There were witnesses right here in the tunnel and actually on the street. So paparazzi about right here. The Mercedes was way too fast for their little crappy paparazzi stuff. So they had severely accelerated so fast that they literally, Fast and Furious, left the paparazzi behind. And when they did, that is when the motorcycles covered them and the white Fiat Uno, and then pushed it and forcing the Mercedes to strike the 13th medium head on, turning the car around facing the opposite direction. Now, before we go into this next segment here, let me make sure that I did not leave anything out, but I thought that was really fucked up about how she went, or they all went, The Uno collided with the Mercedes, made it lose control and collide into the 13th concrete medium. That was just so crazy. The riders on the motorcycle and the driver of the Fiat Uno have never been identified and were excluded as paparazzi. The cameras in the tunnel were useless since they were switched off for some unknown reason. And the inquest into Diana's death found the drivers of the Uno and the motorcycles responsible for Diana's death. Now, however, no one has ever been charged, which I find odd. I mean, you'd think the royal family would at least make some sort of an attempt to find the person who supposedly killed their precious princess. If they loved her as much as they said they did, they would have made some kind of effort to find them, but they made none. I mean, there is more information for us out there on who the driver of the white Fiat was, which it's in the documentary, Unlawful Killing. The link to that video is in the description. It's an hour and 20-minute long documentary. You guys should definitely watch it. It is 100% worth the watch, okay? The information is out there as to who was driving the white Uno and his ultimate death. So I do highly recommend that you watch it. I do apologize. I'm not going to go into that aspect into this part because it's going to take more time and I need to keep pressing forward. So let's move on, guys. The first responders said that Diana was alive and talking when they arrived. However, let's move here. It took freaking, oh, here, animations. Let's, oops, sorry. None. Can you, okay, never mind. It's not even going to show it. It took 37 minutes for paramedics to remove Diana from the undamaged back seat. Yes, guys, if you don't remember, let's go back up to Diana's wrecked car. The back seat, that's where Dottie was. So on the other, I wish I had a picture of the other side of the car. Diana's side was virtually untouched by the crash. And for some reason, it took them literally 37 minutes to remove her from the car. Now, when they did, Diana unfortunately had a stroke. But she was still fine. She was still talking and everything was okay. 81 minutes went by for the ambulance to even leave the scene of the fucking accident. So by the time, guys, that they arrived to the hospital, 103 minutes had passed since the initial crash. Guys, that is an hour and 43 minutes. I mean, come on. Isn't royalty supposed to be treated better than us? 37 minutes to remove her from the back of the Mercedes that was undamaged, which here's more of like a clear picture of it. You can even see that Dottie's side was even better. 81 minutes before the ambulance even set off for the hospital, and 103 minutes total before the ambulance arrived at the hospital. They traveled there at a snail's pace on empty roads, and during the journey, they did not inform the emergency room that they were coming with fucking the Princess of Wales. They said nothing. They didn't have police escorts. They didn't have nothing. 103 minutes, folks. 103 minutes. Now, at the inquest, it says up here that experts agreed that Diana's life could have been saved had it not been for the suspiciously slow and fertile actions of Dr. Jean-Marc Martineau and his crew. And the other members of the ambulance crew have never been officially identified or interviewed. And again, this is from the banned documentary Unlawful Killing. You can, again, find it on YouTube. It is banned in the UK because, of course, the royal family does not want it. You know, they control the media there. They control things like this. So they do not want it to come out, and therefore they banned it, and it's not to be shown in the UK, but it can be shown anywhere else. Okay, so I do find it very odd that the royal family cut ties with Diana. Treat her like a tramp, and then she dies, and all of a sudden her body becomes their property. When that happened, their medical examiner took over, so no one can give us definitive answers if Diana was pregnant or not, or anything. Medical reports even done on Henri Paul were proven false by basic common sense. It seemed that every single scientist involved in Diana's inquiry stated that Henri Paul was not intoxicated, and that in fact, um, the samples, his blood samples that were provided for testing, were biologically inexplicable, meaning they did not think that that was Henri Paul's blood. So when they went another step further, DNA testing had came out. Um, those scientists wanted to test them for DNA. All of a sudden, those DNA samples have disappeared. So nobody will know if that really was Henri Paul's blood or not, or even if he was intoxicated. But the bartender testified to what Henri what Henri drank that night, and I don't believe he drank anything, or he just had one thing, but it was just nothing of what his blood alcohol level had shown to be. So later, though, it was proven that this is Henri right here, and in this picture, that's Dottie and that's Diana. They're waiting for their car. But here's some strange things, guys. Henri Paul received large checks deposited into his various bank accounts before the accidents. And we're talking like large checks, like $40,000, various multiple chunks of checks deposited into his various accounts. And the night of the actual car accident, Henri went missing from the hotel for 7 minutes at 10:36. And he signaled right here, as you can see, to someone before he got Dottie and Diana in the car. Let's go ahead and let's take one more little kind of fragile look. It's highlighted right here. This is Henri. He is signaling to somebody out there. Now, there was something wrong with the Mercedes or with the original car they had, I believe. So I think a second one had been brought up. Now, I do apologize again. I just don't have that information. So I assumed when I saw this that he's waving to the second car. But as far as we know, no, that's not what he was doing. He was missing for a while, and people think that that was his secret communication to the M16, letting them know that they were about to leave with Diana in the car and that this was going to be their opportunity. And based on the large chunks of money that had been deposited into his account, it is alleged that Henri was working for the Secret Service and in on the plot to kill Diana. But I hate to say that, guys, because the dead can't defend themselves. So sadly, we will just never know about Henri Paul. And I think it is very sad that he is going to be thought of that way, as the person who, as the media has portrayed as somebody that was too drunk to drive properly and killed Princess Diana. That's just really sad. It's a shame. And it just sucks that this poor guy is not alive to defend himself. So, but again, there were certain things about that I just had to bring up to your attention, because again, that is very suspicious that he got the large deposits. He did certain odd things that night, and then he was the driver of the actual car, and just how fast. I mean, there was just so many crazy things that just do not make sense that night. And especially with the fact that the tunnel cameras were turned off specifically that night when they never were any other night. I mean, it does seem like possibly he knew something was going to happen. I mean, maybe he didn't think that the flash was going to happen. Maybe it was just going to be something minor, just like to scare the princess and Dottie. But I just don't think he had any clue of what was going to happen. I just think, though, that it is very likely, though, sadly, that he did know something was going to happen. Now, guys, I do have to say that I am a new age feminist, which means that I support everyone. I don't give a fuck about your gender. If you're an asshole, I'll buy you a drink. But if you're a dickhole, then you can scoot your ass on over, because there's no room for fucking haters in my personal space. So I'm not going to hate on the queen. I do not live under her reign, and I don't hate on women, especially those who run an entire country. I don't think it mattered if Diana was engaged or pregnant. I think it matters that those who were higher up thought she was. It is proven 100% that Diana, her phone was tapped and her conversations were monitored, as well as her written correspondence. So I think that they really thought that this was going to, even like I said, it doesn't matter if she was or was not pregnant, or even if they were or were not engaged. None of that matters whatsoever. Somebody thought she was, okay? The jury inquest into Diana's death has found those motorcycles and the white Fiat at fault for her deaths, not the paparazzi. So Diana's death is not a conspiracy theory. It has been proven in court. Princess Diana of Wales, Dottie Fayed, and Henri Paul were unlawfully murdered. Now, I have to say very quickly, huge shout out to the Constitution of the United States for my right to stream this topic and having the freedom to speak my opinion without persecution. So let's go look at what you guys think on the Diana poll. Let's see. Let me move this over here and let's see. What do you guys think so far? Let's refresh. What do you guys think so far of the Diana murder conspiracy theory, which, as I hope I have just proven to you, it actually is not a theory. It has been proven 100%. So we have 29% saying it was a terrible accident and 71% saying, girl, that was murder. All right, I do have to say thank you so much to everybody who voted on that. I am going to, I apologize. I didn't realize that I don't know if I can even change it. Can you change poll options? Nah, no, you can't. So I will probably repost this after the 11 hours is over for an entire month. So that way we can come back to this and look again at this at the next live stream. So the next conspiracy theory question that I wanted to touch on was, do you believe that 9/11 was orchestrated by the US government or was a terrorist attack? I feel that I have compelling proof to show you that it was orchestrated by the US government. Now, 40% say that it was a terrorist attack. 40% say that it was the USA, with 20% saying that Bush did 9/11. Guys, I have to say very quickly, there is a conspiracy theory out there that George Bush Sr. killed John F. Kennedy in order to secure his presidency. That was like his payment to the Skull and Bones. Okay, so that was like his payment to them to ensure his presidency. And so George Bush Jr. supposedly allegedly killed John Kennedy Jr., orchestrated the airplane crash to secure his presidency. And that when it happened, he had to just let 9/11 happen. He had no say. Which it is really, I mean, there's so many things about 9/11, guys. I do apologize. It would have taken up literally 2 hours of the stream. There are a lot of details, not that Bush did 9/11, but that our own government was in charge of it, purely mostly based on Bush himself, on his actions that morning when he was alerted to the first attack on the World Trade Center. At that point, the president should have been secured, should have been moved out of the school. So, because that's protocol. Unfortunately, everybody knew where Bush was. It was being broadcasted live everywhere. So if they wanted to do literally a live terrorist attack on where Bush was, say just hit the button on a bomb and just nuke them from North Korea, they could have done that because they had the coordinates, because they knew exactly where Bush was, where that school was, and that he never moved from it for an hour. So they had plenty of time to nuke Bush. And the fact that they didn't follow protocol, they just left him on TV to die if, possible. It was just, yeah, there was just so much. I'm going to just expect that at the end of May. I want to go over that with you guys. And like I said, it was just so long. There was no way I could ever have finished that stream. Thank you so much, BRT, for the super chat. Guys, the super chats do pay for the prizes and to the improvements on the channel and all that stuff. So If you want to donate through Super Chats, please do so. If you want to donate through my Patreon, I do prefer that more because you get um, prizes for doing that. Even just $1, you get special only Patreon only live streams. You get to choose topics, videos, live streams, and you get a lot of input on stuff. You get a lot of firsthand information, a lot of that stuff. So Super Chats, you don't get rewards. With Patreon, you do. So if you do want to help support the channel, please send me a Super Chat or Patreon. I would greatly appreciate that. Let's go on ahead and let's check a couple of your comments. Let's see. Anthony says, I was 5 when Princess Diana was murdered. Oh my God. I had just graduated high school. Well, I was in the summer of, I had just finished my first semester of college. And I was at a big party at my friend Crystal's house that night on August 31st. And I will never forget, we were all up at like 3 o'clock in the morning still partying. Because we had just finished our finals and we only had like a weekend to move from the summer session into the first semester. So we were really partying hard that night and we were up the entire night. And I will just never forget just clicking on the TV real quick. Because I think we were going to click on MTV or something. And then there was CNN live streaming Princess Diana's death. And we were all just flabbergasted. So, yeah, I was 17. No, I was 18 and I had just graduated high school or just finished my first semester, my first summer session in college. So, Pickle says, make sure you look up the Fiat first. I don't know if that was right or not. I'm pretty sure though. Yeah, it was a Fiat Uno. That was the car that hit Princess Diana. DAF 3704. Yes, thank you, Tammy, for answering DAF. Her death happened in 1997, August 31st, 1997. Tammy says her daughter was a month old. DAF says he was 22. Anthony says he was 7 when that happened. Okay. SS Retrozone said that Trevor, the bodyguard, wore his seatbelt so he could live and give testimony. Anthony, let's see. Of course, it's the 13th column, number 13. Everybody commented about that number 13th column. If it wasn't caused by them, they would have went to hell and back to prove it was murder. But see, that's the thing, SS Retrozone. The British inquest into Diana's murder found unlawful killing. It found that the Fiat Uno and the motorcyclist were responsible for her death, the death of everybody in the car. So you would think that the British monarch would do everything they could, put out every stop that they could to find the people who killed Princess Diana. Because I mean, this is by decree. I mean, this is by law. She was unlawfully killed by the driver of the white Fiat Uno and the driver of the motorcycles. You can check it out for yourselves. It is 100% proven that now by a British court, British jury. And yet the monarch has yet to do nothing about it. They don't care to look into who that was. I mean, you would think that they would care, but them doing nothing speaks volumes, if you get what I'm saying. So, elementary school dropout. I'm so glad you finally made it to a live stream. No-Tell Hotel says, did everyone die in the crash? No, darling, Trevor, her bodyguard, survived. And I wanted to look up what Trevor said. Maybe we'll do that very quickly because I was going to wrap up Diana's Diana's conspiracy theory. They would have got Madonna to the hospital faster than that. My word, says DAF 3704. DAF 3704, they would have got a common person to the hospital faster than they did Princess Diana. A poor person with no insurance and no money, they would have got to the hospital faster. There were witnesses there who said that they could see the hospital. They could literally see the hospital and it took that long to get her to it. I mean, it's fucking crazy. They could have literally picked her up and carried her to the hospital in like 20 minutes. And it took an hour, almost 2 hours, an hour and like 43 minutes to get her to that hospital when they could literally see it from the tunnel. I mean, or, obviously when you stepped out to the entrance of the tunnel, that's just so screwed up. So anyway, Death 3704 that says after they found the Boston bomber, he was loaded into the ambulance and to the hospital faster than Diana. Dude, that is fucked up. Tammy says, Mary, the man in the white Fiat is still alive. Oh, really? No, oh, Tammy, hold on one second. Oh, darn it. It was in the movie Unlawful Killing. And I swear I want to bring it up now on my YouTube. They found the guy who drove the white Fiat. It was one of the past bodyguards. He was even proven that he drove a white Fiat Uno that had damage to it. I can't believe I want to do this. See, this is why I can't. This is why I'm so sorry, guys. The live stream is only going to really cover just a couple of topics. Let's get to it. Let me see if I can get to it real quick while I'm taking those questions. Le Van Thra, something like that, has undergone an astonishing transformation into a prize-winning bodybuilder. He's still refusing to talk. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I will find that because it talks about the British monarch here. Okay, here we go. Let me see if I can get a volume on that. There is that one. Why don't I have volume? Let me see if I have volume. Son of a gun. Okay. I don't hear anything. Let me pull it. Pull this tab over on my computer. Okay. Oh, darn it. James Anderson. That is the guy. Okay, so let me screen share very quickly. And I apologize, guys. I don't know where the heck the volume is. I don't need to mute the microphone. I'm not going to turn the camera off. Okay, let me screen share with you this part. Okay, and this screen one. Okay, so this is from Unlawful Killing. Okay, here we go. This was the guy right here, James Anderson. His whereabouts on the night, all this stuff right here. Where I can't believe the volume is freaking. I don't understand it. Why the volume isn't. Maybe it will show it to you guys. So this right here is showing that the guy was actually there at the crash. He witnessed it and he owned a white Uno Fiat. That guy, James Anderson, he was found murdered in his white Uno. He was assassinated. He had 2 bullet holes into his head. And then the car, of course, I think it was found burning. I'm not positive. I think it was burning. But yeah, this is like picture of it right here. And I'm so sorry. I don't understand. I don't have my headphones in. And I don't understand why the volume isn't working. But yeah, it shows it right here. Let's see. It's like part 104 in the movie Must See Banned in Britain, Princess Diana Unlawful Killing. There's a link for it in the actual description, guys. If you're going to be up tonight, go check it out and watch it. So, yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to show you that, Tammy, because we were on, I guess, different topics, I guess, on that. So Okay, I apologize. Let me get back to my comments. Um, oh, No Tell Motel is very tempted to join the Be My Guest Patreon tier, LOL. Yeah. I totally forgot about that. Let me, you guys are probably wondering what that is. There is a tier in my Patreon. Oh, darn it. I thought it was in Mozilla, and I am not. I apologize. Oh, come on, where's my, there it is. No, Mozilla, come on. Okay, Mozilla, there is not working. Okay. Oh, there we go. I wanted to show you guys very quickly. I have my Patreon tiers. Where is that? Yeah, $40 gets you to be the actual guest. And I'm about to update my Patreon levels. Everything's going to be the same for like the $1 and the $2, but I'm going to lower, I might lower like the Be My Guest. No, actually, I already did. Never mind. Okay, I already did lower it. So never mind. It's good to go. I apologize. I already have updated my level tiers. So never mind. Leave it at that. If you guys want to be a patron, please go check it out. Anything helps. And like I said, it goes to pay for the prizes for the channel and to improve it. Hi, Apple Pie in the Sky wants to know, where is Maisie? And that they like the things I do. Oh, you were so sweet. Hi, Apple Pie in the Sky. I love you so much. Maisie is enjoying being a young lady. She is doing young things that young women do when they are in high school. So she is not going to be in this live stream. But they, Casey and Maisie are definitely coming back for the American Horror Story streams. I'm hopefully going to get them to guest star maybe in like a couple of videos and stuff like that. So don't worry. It will not be the last time you guys see them. I do promise. Let's see. Scott says, hey, Mary, it's been a hot minute. It sure has. Kajona says, Mary, have you heard of the theory of Mary Magdalene is the Holy Grail? Yes, Kajona, I sure have. I read the Da Vinci Code. I thought that that book was brilliant. Obviously, it was based on a theory, but I think that that was a very beautiful theory. And so okay, I'm going to add that to my topics to cover next time. So far, what you guys have suggested is I have the Mandela effect, Stacey, I think I meant Stacey Peterson, but I think Stacey Patterson, Seen in Another Country, Beatles that never existed, and that Paul was dead, and then Mary Magdalene is the Holy Grail. Yes, I do. I love that theory. I think it's fantastic, and I think there's a lot of evidence that corroborates that theory. There is definitely a lot of stuff to corroborate that theory. So I will add that, Kajona, to the next stream. Guys, we're going to keep continuing because we're not done just yet. But I do want to remind you, please don't forget to like if you're liking the stream. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button so that way you'll get notified whenever I go live and set up other live streams and release videos. And part 2 of the conspiracy theory live stream is May 31st. There is a link to that stream in this description, so that way you can go click on it and it's ready to go. Hopefully we will finish everything in that part 2. And if we don't, we'll move on we'll do a part 3 at the end of June. We'll just keep going at the end of the month until like we kind of feel like we're good to go. So, Kajona, I will discuss Mary Magdalene as the Holy Grail. Again, I think that's a beautiful, wonderful theory, and I'm definitely going to discuss that. Hi, Apple Pie says, wow, Mary, you really have some natural blonde highlights. Thank you, honey. It's the summer, and I'm outside a lot playing with my kids, and I'm trying to get pumpkins to grow. So I planted pumpkin seeds in my front yard, and I'm out there working with them daily, trying to get them to grow, and the hot Texas sun is bleaching my hair. So my hair turns kind of like blonde in the summertime, like a blondish brown. And then during the winter, it's weird. The blonde highlights turn red. It's been that way since I was born. It's weird. But thank you so much for your compliment. I appreciate it. SS Retro Zone, I would love to have you as a guest. Definitely keep in mind if that would be a patron worth for you. All my patrons get more than just that. Like I gave everybody a digital copy of my book. I'll just like throw them things out here every once in a while just because they're patrons, you know. Let's see. DAF3704 asks, do you think Bran Stark is the Night King? LOL, that's been a conspiracy. Game of Thrones. Oh, let's mark it down. We'll discuss that. Bran as the. You guys don't watch Game of Thrones, you would not know about it. But I have seen every single episode. I have binged the fuck out of Game of Thrones. So we'll discuss that one next time. Absolutely. I planted silver dollars almost a year ago and they're finally growing, says AJ. Awesome. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for the comments. Let's move into a couple more of my, of my conspiracy theories. I'm so sorry, I had to belch. Let's start up with some most ridiculous conspiracy theories. Guys, I shit you not, there is a conspiracy theory out there that Stevie Wonder is not blind. He's just fucking pranking people. I shit you not. It exists. There is a conspiracy theory out there claiming Stevie Wonder is fucking with us and he ain't blind. Stupid, fucking stupid. And I was so sweet. I love Husband Supreme. And seriously, this man is the only man for me. And if anything, God forbid, ever happens to him, I would never be with anybody ever again because he is the only person for me. But when I was kind of going over some of these topics with him, God love his soul. But like when I told him about the Stevie Wonder thing, he said, Mary, there's this YouTube video out there. I got to show you this YouTube video. He said it every time I talked about these topics. It was hilarious. So if you guys tell me that there's a YouTube video you want me to see, I'm going to laugh my ass off. Okay, so the next one, the earth is really flat. I just can't help but laugh my ass off at that one. I can't help it. I feel bad sometimes because Husband Supreme believes in that theory. And I laugh at it because it's funny. I mean, come on, it's funny. The earth is flat. I mean, that's hilarious. You might as well say the moon is made out of cheese. But I mean, it's funny. I can't help it. And now I feel bad now because he looks at me with that look on his face like, don't laugh, it's true. And I swear to God, he showed me a YouTube video with Joe Rogan talking about the flat earth because Joe Rogan believes in it. And about how NASA is bullshit. And he showed me how they supposedly broadcast from space, but they do it in front of a green screen, things like that. So he showed me stuff like that. So I'll be prepared next time. Let me put that on here. I want to show you guys that because I want to get your opinion of it because NASA is bullshit and using green screens to fool people. Okay. Because there is heavily people devoted to believe that. So I just want to get your opinions on it because I believe in science. So another ridiculous conspiracy theory is that Katy Perry is John Benet Ramsey all grown up. Okay, let me share the screen now because I do have pictures of John Benet and Katy Perry side by side. Was my most ridiculous theory. Here's the one where Stevie Wonder is supposedly catching a microphone out of midair, out of this microphone fell over. If he's blind, how did he catch it? You know, there's that. Yeah, here's flat. Moon's made out of cheese, guys. Um, and then here is John Benet Ramsey and Katy Perry. They look nothing the fuck alike. I mean, seriously, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I apologize, guys, if the pixelation for you is really messed up. And if you can't see it, you can just Google John Benet and Katy Perry, and you can see various photos of them side by side. But no, not there. One of the most ridiculous theories is that the singer Lorde is actually a 30-year-old woman instead of a teenage girl. I get where they see that. She has a lot of like mature features. But there are a lot of people who don't look their age. So I think that it's just simply ridiculous. Another most ridiculous theory is that LaToya Jackson is Michael Jackson, or Michael Jackson is LaToya. They are the same motherfucking person. Their noses look the same, you know, obviously, maybe their lips. I mean, but it seems like this photo was taken to kind of appear like they were the same, but I just still think that that's fucking crazy. His mannerism and everything is totally different. That's just so silly. Another ridiculous theory is that Solange Knowles, which is Beyonce's sister, this is Solange and this is Beyonce, obviously, that Solange is technically or actually Beyonce's daughter, not her sister. And Solange was the surrogate, or excuse me, yeah, was the surrogate for Blue Ivy, and that Beyonce was never pregnant, which, again, another insane one. Another most ridiculous theory is that Khloe Kardashian is the daughter of O.J. Simpson. That is really ridiculous. I mean, I sincerely doubt that Kris Jenner would have had sex with a guy who was beating up her best friend. No, 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 no. Now, this is Khloe before surgery. So I understand that, you know, you're probably looking at her now like, is that Khloe Kardashian? But yes, that is Khloe before she had like all of her tons of 50,000 surgeries to her face. But she doesn't look a thing like him. She maybe does look like OJ's daughter, but I just think that that's very ridiculous. And it's kind of like a smear to the poor girl who loved her father. I mean, come on, if you did not have sex with Kris Jenner, just shut your trap and just give the girl some peace. Another ridiculous theory is that Emily Bronte did not write Wuthering Heights. Her brother did. Now, supposedly back at the time where this book was published, women obviously were nothing better, did nothing actually, where we supposedly, we were nothing more than just people who were opened our legs for the men. And we were nothing better than that. So the fact that a woman could actually write Wuthering Heights was very ridiculous to certain people. And so they just automatically assumed that her brother wrote it and just used his sister as like a pseudonym, or maybe his sister stole it from her. So yeah, that was, you know, just fucking sexist and ridiculous. Another insane theory is that Stephen King killed John Lennon. And I have to go back very quickly because I need to look at my notes. You guys heard me right. People do think that John Lennon was killed by Stephen King, and that the guy who did kill him was just a patsy. Okay. And the reason why people think this is under the notion of it's true or he'd sue. I mean, seriously, people, the person who made this claim that Stephen King, this guy right here, look at him, this guy right here, fucking killed John Lennon, orchestrated the whole thing, plotted it. This guy right here killed John Lennon. Because if it wasn't true, he would sue the guy who made the statement. I just think the guy is obviously too stupid and Stephen King is too smart Why would he want to fucking waste his time on some moron who thinks that he killed John Lennon? That was one of the most stupidest theories I've ever heard. All right. This one might not actually be so ridiculous. So let's talk about Suge Knight infecting Eazy-E with the AIDS virus. Okay. Now, I do want you guys to hear me out on this before you make a judgment. And I know it's coming out of left field here. And mind you, I've heard of this conspiracy theory before. I never really thought it was true, but I never really searched into it. So let's get into it. Hear me out on this. Suge Knight, this guy right here, went on the Jimmy Kimmel show. This was like in 2003. And he told Jimmy that the best way to get back at his enemies was to give them AIDS from an infected needle. He also said in the clip that, let's see, oh, damn. He said something that like he did it to Easy. I have the clip right here. I'm about to play it. But Eazy-E, he did bang a lot of women, guys, and I do mean a lot. But as his son and a lot of his family have pointed out that none of his children, his wife, none of them were ever infected with HIV or AIDS. So if he had them when he was having his kids or if he had them all that time, somebody would have been infected or he would have showed symptoms before. And Eazy-E literally died 1 month after being diagnosed. And it was verified that Eazy-E had a violent confrontation with Suge Knight before he started getting sick. Okay, so this is the clip right here of Suge Knight. What the fuck? Talking about it on the show. Hang on 1 second, guys. Let me check my audio very quickly because this is messed up. You should be able to hear this. And I don't understand. I don't want to mute. Oh no. Guys, the link to the clip of Suge saying this is in the description. And I am so upset. I don't understand why the audio is cut. The video volume is all the way up. There's no freaking volume. Let me pull it over here, like into my other screen. Won't even play on there. I'm so upset. Hold on 1 second. Let me check one thing. Audio and video. It's from the webcam. Oh, maybe I need to change my microphone. Hang on 1 second. Let me see if this will work. Dang it. Oh, this is pissing me off. Okay, I am so sorry, guys. Damn it, the whole point of me having these clips was to show it to you guys. So that way you guys can see the clips that I'm talking about. But this is the clip. There's a link to it actually in the description. This is Suge on the Jimmy Kimmel show telling him that the best way to defeat your enemies is to inject them with HIV, AIDS. And he says right here that he did it to Eazy-E. It is absolutely messed up. And until I actually saw that, I never gave credence to the actual conspiracy theory. So you guys go check it out. Again, I apologize. Hopefully I'll have my shit together whenever part 2 rolls around. And you know what? Maybe I'll just make a special video compiling all this so that way you guys can check it out. So we'll see what happens. So this actually shouldn't be most ridiculous theories. This one actually is very likely that Suge Knight killed Eazy-E. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. Again, go check out that clip. There's a link for it in the description, so you can go watch it real quick. Jumping into another likely theory is that William Shakespeare was the love child of Queen Elizabeth I. Guys, seriously, check out this theory if you haven't had time because it is vast, but it does hold water. Whenever Catherine Parr was giving birth to her child, Elizabeth was strangely absent, supposedly sick, but never treated by a doctor. There was so many things out there excuse me, there was research that one person did. It was so fantastic. They really put a lot of time and research into it. I have not read the book, but it does have credence. I've heard about this theory for many years, and I do recommend that if you do have a little time, check it out because it does hold water. um, so, guys, let me know what you think about all these conspiracies in the comments section. Anything you have to say, I would love to hear on. Excuse me. Um, let's go on ahead and let's go back and let's look at your comments about some of these conspiracies that I just passed over. Um, AJ says he never got a digital copy of my books. AJ, tell you what, let's PM each other on Facebook and I will give those to you. I'll send them. I have digital copies and I'll just email them to you. Uh, SS Retro Zone was like, what about Stevie pranking everybody? Tammy said facepalm. Daft says the worst conspiracy is Michael Jackson died in the early 90s and was replaced with the new look Michael. That's a good one. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me stop sharing and let me just go back to me. Because there's no point in you guys watching that screen. No Tell Hotel says, okay, but did you see that video of Stevie reaching for the falling microphone stand? I want you to see this video on YouTube. I'm serious, people. I've been watching YouTube videos for a while now. Ever since I announced this stream, and right after I announced this stream, less than a week later, Ash vs. Evil Dead announced that they were canceling. So then I had to stop working on the conspiracy theory live stream so that way I could work on Ash vs. Evil Dead videos. I mean, seriously, talk about a conspiracy theory. It really feels like that was like put out so that way I wouldn't do this conspiracy theory video. Tammy says, oh no, the flat earthers. And No Tell Hotel says that flat earthers are on the rise, it seems. Yes, it really does. Earth as matter is flat, but the atmosphere is what makes it round. The flat earth map is pretty convincing, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, thank you so much, Daft3704. There are some compelling evidence for certain things. I am going to look a little bit more into the flat Earth. I know that there is another theory that there is a hole in the Earth that leads to like an underground dimension, various vast underground dimensions and things like that. So yeah. AJ says, please not, no more of this pre-Columbus flat Earth. I swear that's Tide Pod side effects. BRT says that Joe Rogan doesn't know the basics of space travel, which shows he's not researched at all when he talks about things. Thank you, BRT. That is true. My husband does have a lot of respect for him. My husband's stepbrother or my husband's family is was one of the head writers for Crank Yankers and then for the Man Show. So him and Joe Rogan were like best friends. So Tony has a lot of like really great things to say about Joe. So Blake holds Joe and his opinions in high regard, which I understand that, you know. But I do understand BRT. Thank you for making that point. No Tell Hotel says, wait, if the earth is flat, why isn't everywhere the same temperature? I don't know, just like where the fuck does the sun go if the earth if the moon if we're flat? What's up, Christina Romano? Just joined the live stream. So great to have you. We're talking about conspiracy theories. Tammy says she's not laughing at John Bonet. She's laughing at the fact that people think that she's Katy Perry all grown up. Guys, okay, so Daft3704 is making a good point. He says something about the moon landing being fake. That poll question is still on my Twitter. And don't forget, guys, just go to your Twitter. I'm at MaryGirl Moody. I have like a good 5, 6, or 7 poll questions up there for conspiracy theories that I wanted you guys to answer. I'm going to read the results here in just a few minutes. So you still have about a good 5 or 10 minutes to still go and vote because I'm going to give you those results here in just a few minutes. And then tomorrow and the rest of the month of May, I am going to do more conspiracy theory polls to give results at the second conspiracy theory live stream, which is May 31st. Link to that is in the description. Because again, I just did not have time to cover everything. Let's see. So DAF 3704 says they made large sculptures of the moon with the exact craters and everything. I forgot where it was. Langley, I think. Yeah, and they say that Stephen King is the one who like shot that. So Christina Romano has asked, how many minutes did I miss? Wow, you've missed like a good hour, honey. Let's see. Lord is a middle-aged man named Randy Marsh who lives in South Park, Colorado. LOL, says Daff. That's hilarious. Let's see. Tammy says that Michael Jackson and LaToya are brother and sister. That's why they look alike. LOL. And AJ says that they look alike because they went to the same plastic surgeon. Christina says that Khloe Kardashian looks like her brother. Christina, she does look like her brother, but she also, here, let me show you guys one more time. In this picture that I have of Khloe, hang on one second, share this one. In this picture right here that I have of Khloe, this is pre-surgery. And you can tell she looks a lot like Kylie. Her eyes are very small, tight, and squinty. Her lips are very thin, but they're pretty. And she has perfectly set teeth, her cheeks, her chin, her skin tone, even her eyebrows. See, like her face is smaller. Like it's tightly compact. Or yet nowadays, if you were to hang on. Baby, I'm almost done. Where yet today, if you were to look at Khloe Kardashian, you know, she's a very, very beautiful young woman, but she is vastly different than this face right here. Again, you can really see her face has been lifted up, so to speak. You know, lifted up, and she's had chin stuff done. Her cheeks really look the same, but her lips, her nose, her eyebrows were lifted up. I mean, everything was like, it's like her face was like pulled at the chin, pulled up right here and at here, and just yanked at both sides so her face will be longer, you know? Like I said, she's a very beautiful woman. She didn't need the cosmetic surgery in the first place, but I feel strongly that she looks severely like Kylie in this photo. So you can tell that they're definitely related, though they don't obviously have the same fathers. I know, but still, if O.J. Simpson was her dad, she would look something like her dad. She looks so much like her mom and Robert Kardashian and her brother Rob and her sister Kylie, and so much like Kourtney too. Obviously, we can't tell with Kim because Kim's had so much done. Kendall, her and Kendall are vastly different too. You can't, you probably wouldn't think that they were sisters. So yeah, I completely agree with that. Okay. BRT is really laughing at Stephen King. Dasa asks Mary, what about the theory that William Shakespeare was somebody else who wrote under that name? Francis Bacon. Yes. I don't know the entire story, but it's pretty suspicious. Yes, there were a couple of names that William Shakespeare was supposedly to have written under, or that was supposed to have been like his real name. So yeah, I've heard about that one before. That one's pretty good too. Sir Francis Bacon. And a lot of people think too that he was Lord Edward Edinburgh. So who was kept tightly by the king or by the queen because that was her illegitimate son. So yeah, you never know. AJ says Stephen King looks like a chipmunk in that pic. Yeah, right. um, let's see. BRT said that Eazy-E had beaten Suge, Snoop, and Dr. Dre in contracts and finance, so they killed him. Um, let's see. Oh, No Tell Hotel says I'm very much right about Chloe's old face. She very much looks like old Kylie. And so, I mean, if people get plastic surgery to make themselves feel better, like Kylie Jenner said that she got her lips done because she always felt very secure about them. Hell yeah, honey, get them done. Do what you need to do, but you don't need to lie about it. I mean, honestly, you're a woman. It's your choice what to do with your body. And if you're insecure about your lips and you want to get them done, fucking get them done. You don't owe anybody any explanation. Certainly not social media. So, I mean, I just think that people, if they want to have plastic surgery done, they shouldn't have to hide that shit. I don't do plastic surgery. I would like to. I would like to have some plastic surgery, but yeah, I mean, if I ever get it done, though, I'm gonna make sure that I let people know. I'd love to have my nose done because I have a terrible deviated septum. I've had it for a really long time, and I would love to have it fixed. And yeah, there's certain things that people hate about themselves that they would love to have fixed. But again, there's just no reason to lie about it. Just be honest and tell people. Seriously. Um, Raining Fries says, I think that with the Chloe theory, people are just grasping for anything they could find. Seriously, Raining Fries, it's like they have no time on their hands other than to discuss or make up stupid shit. Okay, guys, so that is going to be the end of the stream. If you guys would like a shout out, go on ahead and put it into the comments for me. I'll give you a shout out. Don't forget that the part 2 of the conspiracy theory live stream will be May 31st, 9 p.m. The link to it is actually in the description. Links to the Suge Knight admitting to killing Eazy-E, links to the article about the jeweler with Diana and her engagement ring, links to everything that I went over is in the description. So go check it out for yourself. I just want to. Oh, Dav says my relief showed up, so I got to head out, Mary. So glad I made it. It was so fun to see you. Oh, Dav 3704, have a great night. So yeah, there was just so much information to present to you about the Diana conspiracy theory, which again, I have proven to you guys that it was not a conspiracy. It is a proven fact that the white Fiat Uno and the drivers of the motorcycles killed Diana and Dottie Faid and Henri Paul. They caused the crash that killed them. So it is proven. It is out there now. It is not a conspiracy theory. And I really think that was cool. I mean, I knew about the unlawful killing, but I did not know that the jury found the driver of the white Uno and the motorcycles liable for their deaths. I just thought that was so interesting, and I'm really glad that I was able to present this information to you guys. Let me know in the comments of what you think. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. Y'all are so awesome. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the love. There's so much Ash versus Evil Dead stuff, so go check out my videos. There's news on American Horror Story. Not within like the past 2 weeks. But go check out my videos. I also have links for my weekly Wednesday live streams and any upcoming live stream. So go check out my channel for that. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And also, I do want to let you guys know that I with Ash versus Evil Dead, with the season canceling, I am going to slow down on making certain reviews. I am going to continue to review American Horror Story, do the live streams for Beyond the Horror, all that stuff. I'm still going to review 911, but there's some things that you might not see on my channel, like how to write and publish your novel. There's certain things that I'm not going to continue on right now. I'm just going to wait because there's other things I need to catch up. And, basically, unless my channel starts improving with subscribers and Patreon and stuff like that, I'm going to have to seek other measures to take care of things over here. So I would have to significantly stop my videos in order to make that happen. So I just wanted to let you guys know that unfortunately, a lot of things will be stopping. I'm still going to be doing the weekly Wednesday live streams again, updating American Horror Story 911. And Mondays Are Murder is definitely going to continue, but other stuff will not, due to the fact that just so much has happened, and it just so the ad apocalypse with YouTube and stuff like that. It's just severely beaten YouTubers down to where we can't survive anymore without making some form of money, and it's a very big stress on my husband to be the sole provider now. So I apologize again, but I will have to stop certain videos um, and make certain things only eligible to my patrons because they pay for my content. So I will make it available to them instead. So again, I sincerely apologize about this, but ever since the ad apocalypse here on YouTube, it has been very stressful for my husband over here. And I just cannot justify doing that to him. So you guys are so awesome. BRT, thank you so much. Raining Fries, AJ, shout out to you. Tammy Sifford, Parker P, you have a great night. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see. I can't grasp. Here we go. Christina Romano, shout out to you. See. No Tell Hotel. Oh, thank you so much for your sweet words. Parker P says apparently Elizabeth had actually died when she was younger, and one of the many homes she was put in with the maids and such. And apparently she died whilst there and ended up getting replaced by a male. Oh, I gotta check that one out. Thank you, Parker P. I will go check that conspiracy theory out. I'd never heard of that one. I have typed down your suggestions here in my laptop so I won't forget it. Elizabeth first died in Elizabeth. Okay, thank you, Parker B. I've got that. I will address that the next live stream. Thank you so much. Okay, so guys, if I missed anybody, let me know in the comments right now. But thank you all again for showing up. Thank you so much, Benedict. I hope I'm announcing your name correctly. Ryan, Mary, can you talk about the Mandela effect conspiracies? You're not the only one to ask, Ryan. I'll address that in the next live stream on May 31st. I promise you. Parker P, absolutely. You are so sweet. Thank you so much. I will absolutely check that out and read that. Guys, thank you so much for watching the stream. Don't forget to thumb it up. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget that part 2 is May 31st at 9 p.m. Link is already up in my video. A piece of hair somehow in my mouth. And you are all awesome. I am just very honored and humbled to have you guys as my supporters and as just the people who watch my channel and support the videos that I make. So I love you all so much. Thank you again for being here, and have a very wonderful evening. And I really sincerely hope that all of you enjoyed this conspiracy theory live stream. It was the most requested live stream from any viewer. So I really do hope that it's kind of like giving you guys like a nice, like what you requested. So again, I'll do this again at the end of May. And if I don't finish with all of our topics and stuff that we finish on, I'll do it again at the end of June. So like I said, we'll keep this going because, you know, we like it. So, all right, guys, thank you so much again for watching, and have a wonderful night. Bye.